So what happens when your brain can't believe your eyes? Not a daydream, I'll give you that. It's something much cooler and enigmatic. We call it an optical illusion. Let's take your brain for a test drive and check out how it works. Look at this image for a few moments. Pay attention to the patterns of the circles. Are they moving or are they still? I'll bet your brain is perceiving them in motion, but in reality, these circles are as still as a rock. After all, this is not a video or a GIF. It's a still image. Let's try another one. Focus on the little black dot on the left side of the screen. In what direction is the object on the right moving? Is it moving up and down, or is it going diagonally? Remember, focus on the black dot to your left. It looks like the object is moving diagonally, right? Well, as crazy as it may sound, it is actually moving up and down in a vertical line. Try tracing it with your finger and check it out for yourself. The moving object alternates between blinking in black and white and confuses your senses. If this doesn't make your brain spiral, I don't know what will. Let's get down to the science behind it. The last image we saw is part of a study from Dr. Patrick Cavanaugh, a neuroscientist from Dartmouth College. He claims optical illusions have the power to show how our brains really work. According to this study, our brains can bend our perception of reality. The elements we recognize are usually the ones that are familiar to us. In this case, it's the black dot. But the moving objects trick your brain and creates a backlog. The truth is, your sensory system is slower than what is happening before your eyes. Now wait a minute. If this is true, then that means you're looking into the present but actually seeing the past. Yup, that's exactly the case. We are not seeing what is happening now, but rather what happened hundreds of milliseconds ago. It's like when you hear an echo of yourself speaking on the phone. It goes like this. Light hits the retinas at the back of your eyeballs. This stimulus converts into an electric signal that travels to the visual processing system at the back of your brain. The signal travels to the front of your brain, and only then are you able to create an image. So to sum it up, the time it takes for you to process reality can cause mismatches. So what you see is not 100% of the time the same as what is actually going on. Try this image. This optical trick is called the flash lag illusion. Pay attention to the red dot. The green dot flashes exactly when both dots are in perfect alignment, but it sure doesn't look that way. Your brain perceives the red dot as farther ahead. No matter how many times you go back to it, the dots will never look like they are perfectly aligned. Now, color. One of the trickiest things for our brains to process, which means optical illusions jackpot. Here's where the gold really is. Or should I say, here is where the blue really is. To quote that viral dress, people couldn't decide if it was white and gold or blue and black. Someone took a bad cell phone photo in the UK store and broke the internet. But all is not lost. Dr. Pascal Wallisch, a neuroscientist at New York University, claims he knows the difference between the two groups of people. He did an online survey with 13,000 people, and the results were really odd. The difference between a person that sees blue and black or gold and white depends on the time they naturally sleep and wake up. Night owls, or people that like sleeping and waking up late, were more likely to see the dress as black and blue, while larks, also known as the early birds, are more likely to see it as white and gold. Why are these things connected, you ask? Early birds spend more time in daylight than the night owls, so when they look at that poorly lit photo, they project the way they are used to seeing things on a daily basis. In this case, they're used to seeing things bathed in sunlight, so they assume that's what's lighting the dress. The result is a perception of the dress as white and gold. The same would happen for those that see it as blue and black. The main difference is that these people are used to artificial light, since most of their waking hours happen during the night. When there is a gap in our perception of the world, our brain fills it up with what we're most familiar with. It's like a default setting. It happens automatically. Now, look at this image. A moving square appears to be changing in color. What colors do you see? Gray, then pink, then gray again? Wrong. The square doesn't change colors at all. The creator of this illusion is a Japanese psychologist and artist. According to him, you can see your own brain changing its guess about the color of the square. Color is already an illusion created inside our visual systems. What our eyes perceive as blue is actually a wavelength that is reflected as that color. Neuroscientists say about 40% of our brain is involved in vision. Visual signals are dispersed to more than 30 areas of our brain. Each area has a special function in processing color, motion, depth, and form. All this information is combined and voila! We're able to distinguish shape and color. Strangely enough, neuroscientists still don't understand the details of how all this happens. Now, are you familiar with this image? How many colors can you count here? 3, 5, 11, or maybe 17? Someone shared it on social media and the internet went nuts about it. The person who posted it said they saw 3 colors. Someone else saw 17 colors and marked them with black dots so that other viewers could count the same. One iPhone owner with maximum brightness counted 26 colors here. So, what is the true answer after all? Well, it's hard to say for sure. And we can definitely blame our cell phone screens for adding to the confusion. But there is science behind this. Let's get to the core of it. Australian physicist Dr. Ernst Mach described this phenomenon a century and a half ago. So today, we call these bands Mach bands in his honor. Back in 1885, Mach was studying an illusion similar to the one in this image. There were similar colors of slightly contrasting shades. You can easily distinguish between them when they are side to side, but it's really hard to tell them apart when they're separated. His guess was that this illusion was happening on the retina, and guess what? His guess was spot on. Researchers with far superior technology confirmed the illusion was caused by a retinal behavior called lateral inhibition. Now let's say the retina is a cinema screen. It captures the light projected by the pupil, that tiny dot at the center of your eyes. The screen is covered with light receptors. These receptors react differently depending on the intensity of light they receive. So, the retina receives a stronger stimulus from a brighter shade than from a darker shade. Lateral inhibition means that when these shades are side by side, the louder stimulus doesn't let the brain perceive the darker stimulus in its entirety. So, instead of perceiving 100% of both colors, we perceive maybe 80% of the brighter color and 40% of the darker one. Even knowing all of this, our eyesight will still play tricks on us. Each time I check out this image, I count different numbers of shades. Now, what is your favorite optical illusion? Let me know in the comments below. That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.